And now, welcome to 7 Questions with Emmy.
Hey guys, welcome back to 7 Questions with Emmy. I hope you're ready for a super interview with Superman, aka Dean Cain. Dean played Clark Kent in Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, was the host of Ripley's Believe It or Not, and has been in countless other television shows, movies, and series. You should also know that Dean is one of the nicest guys in Hollywood. I interviewed him a few years ago, and now he's back in the hot seat. Dean, it's so great to talk to you again.
Emmy, it's wonderful to talk to you again. Look how you're growing up. Amazing. So I appreciate you having me back on your show, and your dad is a superstar.
Oh, he's smiling big right behind the camera. Okay, so are you ready to get started with the questions?
Let's go.
Okay. You have a new movie coming out soon called Little Angels. What is it about?
Little Angels is a family movie, and it's a lot of fun. And it's a story of a big time college football coach who gets in trouble for saying something stupid, and then has to do community service. And part of that community service is he ends up having to coach a under 13-year-old girls soccer team. He doesn't like kids, doesn't like soccer. He's an American football coach. He's like Nick Saban. He's like a superstar American football coach. And he has to go coach these young girls. Doesn't like kids, doesn't like soccer. So he comes in with a bit of a bad attitude. But eventually, as the time goes on, there's a romance that develops with one of the moms, and it's a very complicated thing. But the girls are the superstars. The young soccer players, he starts to really like them and like their work ethic. And someone else starts picking on the girls, and he starts to protect them. And so it changes his perspective completely. He teaches them about team and grit, and they teach him to have a heart. And it's a sweet, lovely story. If you have friends who play soccer, go out there, boys, girls, families, see it together. It's a feel-good, lovely movie. I highly recommend it. Of course, I produced it and directed it and wrote it and acted it, whatever. But it's a great movie. Go see it.
You should have called me. Next time you have a movie with 12-year-old girls in it, call me. I'll be
Yes, ma'am.
I am turning 12 a couple days after the film debuts. And what made you want to write a movie featuring 12-year-old girls playing soccer?
It's funny. You're supposed to write what you know about. So if you spend time doing something, I know football really well. I played professional football. You can see my Buffalo Bills helmet there. You can see my college football helmet there. Although that really wasn't my college football helmet. That was my pro helmet. That's just one they sent me because it's because they love my school. But if you write what you know about, I know about football. I didn't know much about soccer, but at the time, my goddaughter was 12. My niece was 12, and they were playing soccer all the time. And I would go out on the weekends to watch them play, sometimes play against each other. In fact, one game was the championship game, and they were both in the goal. So the one was on one team, one was on the other team. Someone was going to lose. It was terrible. And then my goddaughter ended up losing and was crying and so upset. And then I took them both for ice cream, and she forgot all about it. It was great. But being around that and seeing the thousands of kids out there playing soccer and the parents and everything. And I started talking to the parents, and there was no sort of soccer movies for them to watch, for the teams to get together and watch and bond over. So I decided to write this movie, and I thought it was a lot of fun. And it's turned out really, really well. I'm super proud of this film. If you don't like something about the movie, there's one person to blame, and that's me.
Oh, I bet it's amazing.
It's fun.
We're excited to watch it.
Yes.
So
Go in the
you were,
theaters June 6th. Go to the theaters, people. Emmy's audience, please, please.
yes, please. So you were my mom's childhood celebrity crush, but who was yours?
Your dad. Your
Oh,
dad was my celebrity crush. My first celebrity crush when I was very young, she was older than me, but it was Farrah Fawcett. She took this picture in a one-piece bathing suit, just sitting there smiling, and it made my heart go dun, 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 in a weird way. I was like, what is this? What am I feeling here? So that was my first celebrity crush, was Farrah Fawcett. She's since passed, but that was my first celebrity crush. Since then, I've had about 400. I don't want to get into it.
oh, yeah, okay. For who is it today?
Oh, you would, Emmy, why do you have to ask the hard-hitting questions? There are a few actresses I think are amazing. I think Gal Gadot is amazing. Bless her, she's married and has kids and everything. But I do fancy her a little bit. She's pretty outstanding. Um, who else? Oh my gosh, there are so many lovely. I'll just go with Gal Gadot. Keep myself out of trouble. She's also a superhero, so we can work that out.
We can have a more in-depth interview in a couple of weeks, and it can be like an hour long, just explaining all the crushes you've ever had in your whole life.
I think I'm going to plead the fifth on that and stay out of trouble.
Oh, okay. What has changed since I last talked to you a couple of years ago?
Oh my gosh, a whole bunch has changed. For number one, my son graduated college. So he graduated college and we moved after he graduated, right after he graduated, we moved from Southern California, Malibu, California, to Las Vegas, Nevada, actually Henderson, just outside of it. California has some crazy rules, some crazy business rules, some crazy tax rules, crazy regulations. And I thought I was going to live there forever. And I was so comfortable there. I grew up there. But those crazy rules and taxes and things just became too much. And my son was actually the spark that gave me the idea that maybe we don't have to live in Malibu, California,
Yeah.
which was completely revolutionary thinking to me. I'd never thought about leaving. And we got this incredibly gorgeous, house out here in Nevada, no state income tax, business friendly, way less regulations. I love the weather. Everything about it is fantastic. And so we moved. That was listen, for a guy in his late 50s to just pick up and leave where he's called home for his entire life was hard, but it was the greatest thing I've ever done. And I love being here. My son loves it. And we're doing so well. So that's the biggest change in the last couple of years is completely up and moving out of California, 2 years before the fires swooped through there too. And our house survived the fires, but 5 other houses that I used to live in are gone.
That is very sad.
Yeah, it is sad. It's really sad for the people who are there whose house is burned down. Now they're having to deal with all that California red tape and permits, and they can't even clear off their land in a lot of places. So their house, months later, they're still haven't been able to do anything and everything's just gone. That's just an absolute travesty. So my heart goes out to them.
Yeah. So you have been working on or starred in a lot of faith-based films, and what has like drawn you to share these films? And yeah.
I think, Emmy, when my son was born in the year 2000, which is way before you were born, I was already 30 something years old. When he was born, life changes for a parent. You don't have this experience just yet, and it's probably good at 11, almost 12 years old that you don't. But it really changes you as a parent. I mean, I'm sure that you were the most important thing in your dad's eyes in the whole world. And when you have someone who's more important than you, that you care for more than your own self, it's amazing. And it's a love like I can't even explain. And then you start talking about, when my son was 5 years old, he realized that someday he was going to die. We all die. And he realized that at 5, and he couldn't sleep at all. His body was shaking. He was just so scared of the concept of it. And that's when we started talking. And I'd already been thinking about faith and searching for faith my whole life, and ups and downs. And sometimes I really had faith, sometimes I didn't. And I think everybody goes through this journey all the time. But when my son I'd explain it to my son, I started to realize that the movies I was making, the things that I was doing can affect him too. I started making fun Christmas movies and kids movies because I wanted him to be able to see those. I still make other, hard-hitting films and other stuff, but I really wanted to make films that he would enjoy and would teach lessons to younger people. And as far as the faith thing goes, because I am Christian, and I wanted to, I like the morals and the values that the Christianity brings to people. I wanted to make movies that supported that. So I started working with a company I did a movie called God's Not Dead and some other things, which were great fun and did really well. And then I started working with another group called JC Films, which is Jason Campbell. JC Films is a nonprofit thing, and it makes these little small movies that would never get made by Hollywood. But when people ask me, like if your dad said, "Hey, Emmy wants to get into acting and wants to do things here, what do you suggest the best way to do it? I wouldn't say go to Hollywood and get an agent. I would say come and work with JC Films, because you'll get some film, you'll understand the film business in a very welcoming, friendly way. And that's one of the reasons I do them. But the biggest reason is I want to put that kind of content out there to change the culture. I want people to think in those terms and see those things if they want to, and learn something. And it's cliche to say it, like, if it helps one person, it's worth it. But I think, when I go to Comic-Cons and things and people talk about Superman or Ripley's Believe It or Not or other things I've done, a lot of people mention the faith movies and they say thank you for it. So I know I'm helping affect people's lives in a positive way. And that's the ultimate reward in itself.
So do you have any fun plans for the summer? We're almost there.
I have wonderfully fun plans. It gets real hot here in Las Vegas in the summertime, but I have like 4 or 5 movies I have to do this year that are still to do. So June 6th, Little Angels comes out, so I get to do a bunch of publicity talking about that. It's going to be very exciting for me to watch how people react to it. I think if it does well, I'll be super happy. At the same time, I have to film all these other movies, which is, some of them are really fun. A couple of them are going to be tough, but some because the subject matter is tough, and other ones are going to be great fun to do. So I'll be very busy doing that stuff. My son's going to co-direct one of the movies with me, so that's going to be great fun. He's 20, he'll be 25. So you might think he's old, but I think he's very young. And 25, you're like, oh my gosh, that's like an adult. No.
No,
So
not that
I get to
old.
direct. No, it's not old. All right, good. Yes. What if it was somebody in their 50s? Is that old?
No.
Great answer, Emmy.
Well, you
So-
don't look a day over 30, so.
Okay, I love you. I owe you and your father a lot of money now, just for
Oh.
saying.
No, you.
But Little Angels, I shot a bunch of it over at Idaho State. All the football stuff is there, and so it's great. So we get a little bit of Little Idaho and Little Angels. So check it out.
If only we could have met up and done an in-person interview while you were here.
We should have. Blame your father. No, it's not his fault. He didn't know we were there. We were only there for a day.
Oh,
We ripped in there and did it really fast. It was last second. And we decided to do it on a Wednesday or Thursday, and the game was on Saturday. So we really snuck in there, did it, worked our tails off, and then got right back to LA.
wow. What is a piece of advice that you can share with me or our viewers?
Very simple. Never give up. That's it. Never give up. And also realize that, like, well, first of all, you're going to get told no. Everybody who's ever successful, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, failed numerous times. President Donald Trump failed numerous times in businesses and things. We all fail. I don't like to fail. I don't like to lose. So don't give up. Don't give up. If you stay persistent and continue going and keep going and keep going, that's how you win. That separates people who are successful from people who are not. And also be kind to yourself. Realize you're just human. You're going to fail. There's times you're going to think everything sucks and you want to give up. Everybody gets there. All of us. I don't care if it's Denzel Washington or me or President Trump or your dad or anybody. We all fail. And we get these moments where we're like, oh, am I doing the right thing? And if you think you are, you just keep going. Never give up. Believe in yourself. Be kind to yourself. But life is tough for everyone.
Thank you so much for talking with me today, Dean. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
The pleasure is mine, Emmy. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure people told you can't. You're too young to do this. You're too young to do it. You'll never be able to. And then here you are.
And
With somebody as incredibly famous as me.
I'm
kidding.
For viewers watching, Dean's new film Little Angels debuts nationwide June 6th, not 9th, sorry. And thank you so much for talking with me, Dean.
Anytime. You just let me know. I'll be on anytime, Emmy. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. Remember, new 7 questions interviews are posted every Thursday. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Love you guys. Bye.